Hello folks, welcome along to A Taste of Country with Lucia Butler. I've got a very special artist here beside me, and it's the one and only Gerry Guthrie. Welcome along, Gerry.
Hi Lucia, it's great to be with you.
It is, of course, Gerry. And we've just got you off the stage there, very busy man. Couldn't get you beforehand because everyone was surrounding you, but eventually I got you here for an interview.
Yeah, it was a good night in Conway's 3. I thought you were going to kill me there for holding you up so long till this time of the night, but we're here, we're talking, so that's good.
Well, Gerry, an interview with you is always worth waiting for. For the listeners out there, Gerry, I know you're from County Mayo, Ballina in County Mayo in Ireland.
That's right, I'm a Ballina man, born and reared, and I'm sure there's loads of your listeners that know people from Ballina or are from Mayo, because there's loads of Mayo people on this side of the water, as we know. And as you've seen tonight there, we met loads of people from different parts of Ireland, Mayo to Kerry, up to Donegal, Gerry. It was great, we had a great time tonight.
Yeah, it was a full house and all, wasn't it, Gerry?
It is great to see that when you come over for your first visit to a place that people are willing to take a chance and come out and support. It's great.
They would know you now, because the last time you were over here about a year ago, weren't you? You wouldn't have been so well known. You wouldn't have been so well known in England, but people now, because we give you a lot of airplay on our radio show, by the way.
Of course you do, and we'd be lost without you. And that's the thing, like I always say this to people like you when I'm speaking to you. If it wasn't for people like you, we needn't record stuff at all, because people just wouldn't get to hear it. And they wouldn't know who we were from Adam. So
exactly.
We're blessed to have you.
We are indeed. And now, Gerry, I know from a very young age you were always interested in music, and you got your first guitar at 8 years of age.
I did. The first guitar that I ever had came with Santa Claus.
Really?
Yeah, when I was 8 years old, and from that day to this, it's never been out of my hand. It's for every day. I'd say from that day to this, I've picked it up for at least an hour.
And tell me, did you go around with the sweeping brush pretending it was a guitar or anything?
No, there was always a guitar at home in my grandmother's house, but it never had all the strings on it, so it couldn't be tuned. Or I didn't know anything about tuning it anyway. But that's where the longing came from to play the guitar, you know.
Oh, very good. So there was a bit of music there in the family. And tell me, Gerry, you were with a band there, a local band, when you were 15?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a job with an established wedding band at home called the Richmonds. A guy called PJ Clark, and we went on to form another band then called the New Blues. Myself and a couple of friends of mine from back in Ballina. And then I was in school, I'd done my leaving cert, and I just had finished my leaving cert, and I got a phone call from a guy called Mike Kelly, Sandy Kelly's husband.
Oh yes.
And the job was to play lead guitar on Sandy's band for a couple of tours. So from that to this, I've been playing guitar.
Were you on the stage when Sandy done a tribute to Patsy Cline over here in London?
I was, yeah. I played on that. It was called Music and Memories.
I actually went to that show.
Well, I played lead guitar, and it was called Music and Memories. I think it was called the Patsy Cline Story.
A tribute to Patsy Cline, wasn't it? Something like that, yeah.
A very successable show.
It was.
Sandy,
you had George Hamilton, the fourth there as well.
That's right. I was lucky enough to meet up and kind of become friends with George Hamilton, and I didn't really realise at the time how big George was, in America, and what he meant to the American people. But I do know, and I'm very proud to say it works with him. Great man.
That was a great privilege for you, Gerry, to be able to do something like that. But I know you worked with a lot of top artists as well, didn't you? Louise Morrissey and... I
did. After Sandy's band, I went down to work with a guy called Martin Cuff. People know Martin over this side as well, because he lived here.
Donegal man, great singer.
Oh, absolutely, fine concert singer. And then I went from Martin's band to a guy called Sean Cuddy, and everybody knows Sean over here because...
Run to the door.
Absolutely, yeah. This is where he does a lot of his work. And when I left Sean's band, I went to Louise Morrissey, and I stayed at Louise's band for 2 years, and it was a great experience. I learned something from every one of those people about different sides of the trade,
You never, I suppose, we never can know enough, Gerry, about anything.
There's never a time that you go out and doing what I do for a living, or what, that you won't learn something new. And that's a good way to be, But I love meeting people like that I've worked with, and now I get a chance to meet people that I look up to, like Mick Flav and Declan, your Mike Denver, Jimmy Buckley, and they always have a word of advice for you, and a good encouraging word, which is brilliant.
Good man. And how did it come about that Henry McMahon spotted you, or how did all that happen? Yeah,
a guy called Pat Boyle at home. He's a DJ. You might know Pat. I don't know. Crazy DJ at home. Great fellow though.
I wouldn't know any crazy people, Gerry.
You would. He's from up around the Cooley Mountains in County Louth, and he introduced me to Henry one night in the McWilliam Park. I was doing my one-man show.
That's in Mayo, of course, listeners.
Of course,
Claire Morris.
I should have remembered to say that, but I was doing my one-man show at the time in the bar, and I got chatting to Henry, and at the time he was saying that the Irish scene needed some new blood, and he started telling me about this song that he'd written called The Lucky Horseshoe. which went on to be the second single we put out when we put the band on the road.
What was the first single, Gerry?
The first one was one called Shut Up Heart, that I forgot to play tonight for you.
That's my favourite.
Yeah, but, I'll do it twice next time you see it.
Well, remember that. We have that recorded now. Shut Up Heart.
Shut Up Heart was the first one, and we followed it up fairly quickly then with The Lucky Horseshoe, and that's the song now that people have kind of, they've taken to, and they associate it with me, the horseshoe and blacksmith and all that crack. So,
but going back to Henry McMahon then, so Henry approached you.
He did. We met up and we got chatting about it. It just happened. It was a mutual kind of a thing. That it was very casual the way it happened, and before I knew where I was trying to recruit men for the band.
And whose band did Henry McMahon play on?
Oh, sure. Henry is he's actually the founder member of the Mainliners band, and he's written more hits, I'd say, than anybody. Himself and Johnny McCauley would be the two major hit writers. Like, I was talking to Declan Early there recently. Declan has a brand new album out as well called Nerney's Gold.
Nerney's Gold, yeah.
And there's 21 songs out, and Henry wrote 7 of them.
Wow, that's some achievement, isn't it?
Unbelievable. That's
7 original
hits, like.
Wow.
Written by one man, which is it's just a testament to the man,
Yeah, very, very good. And Gerry, I know you went on to launch your band. You've got a great band behind you there.
I have. I'm very lucky to have the lads I have, and they're all there from day one, basically.
2010, was it?
That's right, September 2010. Where'd the years go? 2 years ago.
And I went home. For that launch.
That was a big night. Yeah,
oh my God! The memory of that night in Claremorris, the MacWilliam, it was absolutely mobbed.
It was heaving. It was heaving. I don't think there was anybody left in Ballina that night. I don't know.
I'd agree with you. Honest to God, it was so worth going home for. I was so pleased, and it went on till all hours.
It was a great night, and it was. Look, I suppose looking back in time to come, it'll probably be the highlight of. Do you know what I mean? Because it was such a great reaction. But we're going back to Henry, and writing the stuff. He came along then and he wrote another one called Two Loving Hearts.
Oh yes.
For me, and that was proved very popular as well. So we're working on new stuff now. Again, original stuff. We have this album. We have a brand new album called Good Country Songs out.
Yeah. So this new album is called Good Country Songs.
On the KMAC record label, we have it out, and it's gone down very well. But we're starting work again on new stuff right away. We have a couple of original things that when I go home on Monday, I'll be in the studio Tuesday, please God.
Oh well, that's the way to keep you busy, keep you out of trouble.
But that's the thing about this game, if you're not busy at it, it's harder because you need to be going all the time. You know what it's like.
Forward planning all the time and keeping busy, but it's good. And tell me, Gerry, have you wrote any songs yourself?
Not one, and I don't think I have a song in me just yet anyways. I think it's a very particular gift and a skill to be able to sit down and put words together, not only that rhyme but to have a story or that mean something to people. I'm going to leave it to the pros for now anyway.
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean, I have a couple of songs out there, and it's all meaningful. So
yeah, of course, yeah, but it has to come from. It has to mean something. Do you know, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. If it's not a story like the Horseshoe song, if it's something that personal or whatever, it has to be very, very.
But maybe it'll come to you. Maybe.
Yeah, I
never say never.
No, I wouldn't, and I like that Lucky Horseshoe song, which was myself and Jonathan Owens that came up with the air for it, and the same with Two Loving Hearts. So I have that side of it, I suppose.
There you go. You see.
I can play. It's every man to his own trade. That's the way we look at it.
Now, as you were growing up, I know Merle Haggard and all them would have been your influences?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any country singer at home in Ireland that hasn't been influenced by Merle Haggard and George Jones and these people. But
Garth Brooks as well.
Absolutely, yeah. George Strait. On a smaller scale probably than Garth Brooks, because he was huge when I was a kid. He was huge in Ireland. But I have to say, I had huge influences at home as well. I've been listening to people like Mick Flavin and Declan. I'm a guitar player myself, so.
And you're a brilliant guitar player. I have to add, Gerry. No, you are. Credit where credit is due.
Bits and pieces, that's the way it is. But you can't not look up to people like Declan Early, fantastic musician in his own right. Some people forget that he's so talented in different ways, but like himself and Mick Flavin, I've been looking up to people like that for as long as I can remember.
Our Irish ones, they're the Irish ones at home, so.
That's right. You go a long way to find a better country singer than Mick outside of America. He's a really good country singer, and Declan has his thing going on there. It's a little bit different, but he has the musical side of it, the playing the guitar, and he's nailed that sound, and it's his now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know, do you do some charity work, Gerry?
We do loads of it. Yeah, last year I recorded a song about and any Mayo listeners that are listening know about Joe Corcoran.
I played that song indeed. Yeah,
Jink and Joe Corcoran, and we came along with this song. Joe is still alive and well, thank God. I meet him regularly for coffee, and we recorded the song and we let it out as a single for Down syndrome. Mayo, Joe's grandson has Down syndrome, and we raised 12,000.
That's a fair amount of money.
It's great for one. We had one night off the back of it, and between the night and we printed a few singles and sold them off to people, and it raised €12,000. So we were delighted.
But isn't it great when you can do something like that to help other people? You know, there's always people less fortunate than ourselves, so if you can help them at all, let's...
Yeah, of course, and if you're in a position like I am, where I have the band around me and I can go out and do something, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to go out and do a night. It doesn't mean one night out of 300 nights in a year. It's not a whole lot to ask, you know.
Absolutely.
It's great.
But tell me, you've done some video, and been on television there a few times?
Television is the new thing now. But, we had a video out for the Lucky Horse Show that we did live in Monaghan, and now we've one out for Mayo Will Always Be Home. That's proven pretty popular. So we're working on a package DVD for probably next Christmas. That'll be what. Here talking about Christmas already, but
I know.
And we'll be here saying in a few months, just nearly on top of us again.
But you have to plan, don't you? You have to plan ahead.
Yeah, you do, and we're looking forward to it. And people are asking for a DVD, so I think that'll be the next step.
Very good, very good. And I suppose a new album after this. I know you have this Good Country Songs. It's a brilliant album, Gerry. So fair play to you, I have to say. Great singer you are, from Ballina, County Mayo.
Just heading home now after tomorrow night. We'll be up the road.
Okay, and tell me, if is there anyone out there that you want to say hello or thank you to?
Well, there's loads of people that call into us, as you'll have the same thing on Facebook, and we get emails, like the amount of messages we get every week on Facebook from people you might never have met, just wishing you well. And it's great. It's always great to hear from people, so never be shy saying hello to us. They're the people who want to say hello to and say thanks to.
And the ones that request the music as well, of course.
Yeah, of course, and the likes of yourself and Pat Garrett there and all the people at the station that are playing us all the time. Like, as I said to you earlier on, if it wasn't for people like you, we'd have no business recording stuff, because people wouldn't get to hear it.
Well, if it wasn't for the listeners and the radio presenters, we wouldn't be sitting doing what we do as well, so... You know, it's a circle, isn't it, really?
Absolutely, and I suppose, like, if you didn't have stuff to play, there'd be no DJ. So it's a kind of but it's a circle that keeps going around, and we want to keep it going.
Well, just observing you tonight, Gerry, I stood back, and it's your first night here in Conway's 3 with Seamus Moore, and absolutely, the dance floor was never empty, was it?
Yeah, it was a full house. Like I said earlier, we were delighted to have it, and you can always kind of be guaranteed when you have Irish people away from home that if they get a chance to get up and dance, they're going to.
And you would have met some of your Facebook friends there tonight.
I did, of course. I met people from the days of playing with Sean Cuddy and Martin Cuff that I haven't seen in ages. That's what held me up, that you were waiting. But and it's just great to meet people like that. It's mighty, like, you know?
It is. Yeah.
The world is such a small place now with the internet. It's unbelievable. You know?
Yeah. And tell me, it must be a great feeling. I know there's a lot of hard work goes on, because it's not only you get up there in your lovely suit and a lovely smile and all that, but that's a great feeling in itself. But then again, when the dances are over, you've got to pack away, and all the travelling it must be tough being on the road, surely.
I suppose it is and it isn't. Like, I mean, I just said, anyone that asked me, I'd say, well, if I wasn't doing this, I'd have to work for a living. And that's the bottom line. Like, I'd never think, if you thought about it, you'd never do it, I don't think, because the mileage we put up in a year, like, it's crazy.
But you have to enjoy what you do, don't you?
To come, I don't know how far we are from home we are mileage-wise, a couple of thousand miles, are we?
It's really nice to meet someone from home, isn't it?
Yeah, but to see people that have never met you before coming out, and they're willing to give up their night and come out and support you, like, what more could you ask for?
And will you come back and see us again?
No, we'll be back in no time. We're coming back, actually. We're coming back to England the end of February to do a couple of dates around Manchester. You're
not in London then, are you? No?
I don't think so on that trip. We're in Mrs. Days down in Soham on the Friday night, and on the Saturday night we're in the Irish World and Heritage Centre in Manchester. And the Sunday night, I'm not exactly, can't just remember where we are, but people can look us up on gerryguthrie.ie or Facebook. And
that's what I was just going to say to you, Gerry. For anyone now that would want to request your music, the albums, and maybe your DVD or videos, whatever it is, tell us your website.
gerryguthrie.ie, just my name.ie will take you straight to my website, or kmacrecords.com is our record label.
So that's Gerry Guthrie. Maybe you better spell Guthrie for them.
Yeah, GUTHRE.ie. If you type in the Lucky Horseshoe, you'll find me. Never mind.
You're all over YouTube and everything. And also, Gerry, you're on Facebook. So listeners, now if you're not a friend of Gerry Guthrie's, go onto his Facebook page and tell him you've heard his interview being played here on irishcountrymusicradio.com, and also his songs, because I'm going to be playing some of his songs, and after the end of this interview I'm going to be throwing a question. I'm going to give away a free album of Gerry, a Good Country Song album. So That's it, really.
Yeah, it was great being talking to you, Lucy, and thanks for all your help and support. You're never more than a phone call away, and it's great. You know.
Oh, that's great, and I'm always there to support the ones. I'm not saying the ones that need it, because Gerry, you're out there now, and everyone seems to love you. So,
but everybody needs you need the support in the background. You need people that will play the records and talk about the gigs and venues and stuff. And without that, there's no point coming if you don't have that. So.
Okay, folks, well, that is a young Gerry Guthrie and doing a taste of country with Lucia. And if you want to, go onto his website, gerryguthrie.ie, or onto his Facebook page. And thank you very much for, Gerry, thank you for taking the time out after coming off stage there, and we eventually got you away.
Thanks, Lucy, and Happy New Year to you and all your listeners. I hope you're going to have a great one. Please God.
And Gerry, on behalf of myself and all the presenters on IrishCountryMusicRadio.com, I'd like to wish you every success in the future. I know you're doing really, really well, and as the good country songs, you are keeping it country.
Just what it says in the tin.
Okay, listeners, I hope you all enjoyed that interview with Gerry Guthrie from Ballina in County Mayo. God bless you all, and thank you for tuning in.